Good morning, guys. Terell, Snead here with the Sanders Group of Hometown Realty. For any of you that have not met me, haven't met you, hope you're having a great morning so far. I want to discuss the topic of listings. I've heard it from a lot of vets in the field, list to stay alive, list to stay alive. So let's take it from the top. I actually want to start with the pre-listing or pre-qualification, right? One of the things I like to do is find out how motivated a seller is, whether they really need to sell or want to sell. This is a super hot seller's market. So, of course, individuals who are listing their homes, they want to get as much as possible. Uh, Usually, the seller will give you additional information about the home during this pre listing. And the pre listing, of course, is over the telephone. I would suggest to everybody run some comps, have some type of familiarity of the neighborhood itself prior to the phone call, have a range of where you think the home may list for. Of course, this is prior to seeing the home itself, okay? Condition, updates, additions, renovations, etc. will change those numbers for you. Again, we want to know if they really need to sell. If they do need to sell, you want to know where they're going to go next. Is it going to be temporary living? Do they have another home? Are they going to stay with family and or friends, right? You don't want them homeless in a good sense, if that makes sense. You want to know what their next step is. In addition to that, have some activity, right? Have an understanding what's going on, what's trending as far as actives, pendings, what's sold in that area. I like to start off about a quarter mile. Depends upon your neighborhood. Subdivision might be less than a quarter of a mile. If you get more of like a rural pocket, it may go to half a mile or a mile or more, right? So get familiar with the turf or the territory itself and let that dictate you. So you want to get at least a handful of active, a handful of pendings, a handful of closed sales if you can. Also, find out the average as far as days on market. This will kind of speak to you what that market is sharing as far as sales, right? Are we sitting on market 30 days or more? 10 days is a situation within 3 or 4 days. Homes are going under contract. In this type of market, it is not unusual to see a home go off market within about 10 days, right? A current trend that most of us are seeing right now, I think it's fair to speak to, is list maybe on a Wednesday or Thursday and reviewing offers that next Monday or Tuesday. Unfortunately, some of these homes are not even making it to an open house. Okay? Another thing, we want to find out if the seller owes anything on the home, right? Is there a mortgage? Or is the home owned free and clear? Okay. Again, we want to know if the seller owes anything. If they do owe, how much do they owe? Right. That's going to also help you figure out if we can actually have a transaction of possible listing here. If we get in a situation, the seller is what we refer to upside down, they owe more than what the home is worth, then the other option is finding out if they're willing to bring funds to the table to pay commission. So keep in mind, if we're listing, we want to get paid, right? But also the buyer's agent. We have to give commission to the buyer's agent. If I'm moving too fast, guys, let me know, okay? All right, again, we want to make sure there's enough equity in the home to pay commission. If we do not have enough equity, in other words, the home is worth more than what's owed, then we need to find out how the seller is going to pay us, if the seller can, right? We didn't go to real estate school and pay fines to sign up for non-profit RS, if that makes sense, right? We definitely love, serve, and want to help our clients, but at the end of the day, we also have bills, right? Brokerage gets paid. We want to get paid as well. All right. Ask the seller about the home of the condition, the condition of the home, right? In their honest opinion, what do they love about the home? What are some detractors, some things that they don't fancy, they don't love? These are some objections that we want to have, or information that we want to have up front, because buyers will present these same concerns or objections. So we want to get ahead of the curve, if that makes sense, right? polish up all great features, and things that need a little love, we'll find a way to work around them, if that makes sense. All right, a key thing here, make sure all decision makers are present. I'm going to say it again, make sure all of your decision makers are present. Okay. If it's husband and wife couple and both of them will be making a decision, do not, if you can avoid it, do not accept, hey, whatever the husband says, we'll run with it, or whatever the wife says, we'll run with it. Because usually what happens, everybody's on page at that particular moment. And then later, there's some form of a rebuttal, right? Whether it's price, terms, etc. So save yourself all of the headache, anxiety, and possibly a deal or transaction blowing up on you. Have everybody sit down at the same time. All right, in addition to this, during the pre-listing / pre-qualification time period, email, hand deliver, or mail a listing packet, right? If you do not have a listing packet, please get with somebody and create some form of a listing packet. I will be fair, I'm completely spoiled on the Sanders Group of Hometown Realty. We do have an awesome marketing director, an awesome transaction coordinator, so they make a lot of things easy for us. So it's mainly hunting, fielding calls, and being in the trenches. Okay, so in that listing packet, let them know how you work, right? How you operate your business. Give them a background of who you are, what you've done. If you're from Richmond, how long you've been here. If you're not from Richmond, right? Give them a few personal tidbits so they can get comfortable. Also put something in there that's speaking to your brand, right? A lot of individuals did not start in real estate. Be comfortable sharing some of your previous experiences in different forms of employment, right? At this point, you're trying to build rapport, right? Another key question, has the seller considered selling the home themselves? And there's not a right or wrong to it, right? This will open up doors. If they have considered selling the home, ask them, hey, just curious, any particular reason why you did consider selling the home versus a professional realtor, right? Again, it's not a right or wrong. And find out what happened when they did list this home, if they did. All of these are tidbits of information that we could use to our advantage to help propel this possible listing forward. If that makes sense. And address all replies accordingly. The next question, very important. Are you interviewing any other agents? Right? Have you interviewed any other agents? If the answer is yes, welcome it. Do not be afraid of competition. Ask how soon will the seller or sellers make a decision if they have or will be interviewing other agents. So again, you want to find out how soon will you find out if you'll be their guy or gal to get this listing and move forward. I feel with all interactions, whether it's personal or business, get a good read or handle of who you're dealing with, different personality types, right? Analyticals or analytics. A lot of these individuals, they love data. They love a lot of information. Sometimes you have to put the information or data in front of them. Keep in mind, there is not a right or wrong for different personality types, okay? Just understand who you're dealing with. That will help you in this relationship / transaction. These individuals usually are more logical, okay? An amiable person, they're usually a bit more easygoing. They're agreeable, and you can agree where you can. And of course, certain things in transaction, you're going to have difference of opinions, right? Still hold your own, but handle it with a delicate hand, if that makes sense. An expressive person, a little bit more chatty, open up a little bit, have a conversation, feel free, right? Be a little vulnerable. A driver, keep small talk to a minimum, okay? You have your small talk. They're very results oriented type individuals. The bottom line means everything, okay? Have some stats to go over, okay? Again, homes for sale, how many actives, pendings, sold, something else that will help you. If you're new to the business, speak to your team or speak to your brokerage, right? Uh, Once in a while, you may run across a client. How many homes have you sold, right? Well, our team has sold X amount in a particular area. Our company has sold X amount. We have X amount of listings, etc. So you're not going at it alone. Even with your team, it's the strength in numbers, right? Even when you're individual, strength in numbers, you're still working with the brokers. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, this is personal preference. So when I go on a listing appointment, do I tour first or do I sit down and have the conversation first? I prefer to tour first. I've done both. Okay. It's personal preference. Again, getting a read on who the individual is, uh, feeling the vibe, if you will. My ask is, if you're going to sit down first, you probably want to hold on to the numbers. In other words, refrain from giving them the numbers of your listing range until you tour that home first, right? The home may have more value than what your initial numbers may show if you haven't walked the home, or may have a lower side of the spectrum or scope of the range that you're preparing to give. Uh, I would always ask that you bring an iPad, a camera, computer, bring your pad and pen, right? Treat this as if you're actually on the job. Reason for this, you want to take pictures of great features that the home offer, okay? Some other things that might need a little TLC. Do advise your sellers that you are not putting these pictures on the internet. They're just for your plan. On our team, we call it battle plan, right? Take notes of certain things, different amenities around the house that will be considered very valuable. Certain things that may not be so valuable. It may give you an opportunity to display value somewhere else, right? Or polish up something, make it look better than what it currently is. All right, when it's time to sit down, my suggestion, get everybody to a dining table, kitchen table, right? Let's turn off all TVs, any cell phones, anything that's going to hinder you from having a productive conversation. You want to have everybody's attention, right? If you have two or more people, you want to make sure everybody's dialed in or locked in on the conversation. That helps you to avoid repeating yourselves. It helps you from getting confused as well. If you have not complimented this home when you walked through that door and spoke to this individual, please do so. I don't care how rough you feel that home may be. Every home deserves complimenting, whether it's investment property or a nice shined up HGTV resale home. Every home has something to offer. Okay. While on tour, right? Missed this earlier. While on tour, have your client to point out some of their favorite features. This will also help you speak to some of your remarks, possibly in your listing. Find out what the detractors are. Some of their detractors may be your detractors. Maybe they're not detractors at all. There are a lot of humble sellers out here that find all kind of fault, and there really isn't any fault for the most part in the home, right? It's personal preference. What home may work for Terell may not work for anybody else, and vice versa, right? Again, the idea is to find value in the home and sell those points. While sitting at the table, whether it's kitchen table, dining table, go over your different strategies, right? How you're going to list the property, how you're going to market it. Just a few. Uh, I like to come in with a range, a low range, a mid range, high range. Usually, when I send out a net sheet, I'll have a minimum, guys, of 3 different list amounts. Okay, sometimes it might go upwards to 5, right? If I really get guys that want a whole lot of data and maybes, ifs, possibilities. On the low range, there's a couple of reasons why I use the low range. One, I use low range if I feel the home needs a lot of work. It just doesn't measure up to the current homes on the market. Again, if I feel it's just not up to par to a lot of the homes, they'll be deemed comps. Second is where we have a little fun. Purposely listing beneath market value to create the all-loved bidding war. Right? It's always fun when we're on the listing side. It's a little bit of a challenge when on the buy side. So again, if it's a really nice home, we know it's going to fly. If we want many offers, right? And if our sellers have the appetite to accept a little bit of stress and possible anxiety for a few days, then we can list beneath market, right? Get a bunch of offers in, hopefully run up the price and be able to leverage the offers, use different terms, offer amounts, etc. Again, not saying this is right or wrong. This is one of my strategies, okay? Next, the mid-range. Usually use it for market value, okay? Plus or minus a couple $1,000, seeing what the market is speaking to for value in said neighborhood, particular pockets, certain style homes, certain amenities, etc. And then this is a challenge we deal with every once in a while, right? Put your seatbelt on. We get a seller that says, you know what, I want the absolute maximum, absolute maximum. I don't want your bidding war. I don't want fair market value. I want the most I can get for this home and maybe plus some. I like to call it the ceiling, or pop the ceiling. I do forewarn you, have a good, productive conversation with your sellers. In this situation, we can expect to get less offers and take longer to get less offers, right? So again, we're usually going to get less offers, and it's going to take us longer to get less offers. Any good buyer's agent, they're going to run the comps, right? If we're priced 40 or 50,000 more than a very competitive home, even in this market, and we don't have a real reason to justify it, some people will just overlook it, right? Mm-hmm. Some buyers will just overlook it. Might not even get to the buyer's agent to make the decision. So do we want to do our disservice of taking that list and knowing that we're well overpriced and we can't get the seller to roll back or scale back on the price just for the sake of having a listing and may never bring anybody to the table, or deal with the objection and see if we can bring them back, or if we can't, maybe we don't take the listing, right? It's your business, you choose, but you definitely want to do your due diligence and explain the different reasons why you prefer maybe coming in lower, mid-range, a little bit above, or if we do have to deal with the ceiling price. In addition to that, you want to find out what the sellers need from the sale. Of course, everybody wants to get as much money as possible. That's usually the case, right? We're in a hot seller's market. On top of that, maybe we have sellers that are not financially prepared to deal with certain repairs, right? Maybe they are, they just don't want to deal with repairs. Being transparent in this market, a lot of homes, even homes that have no issues, they're being sold as is, right? Informational purposes only. So Terell can go over here, get under contract. He can get this inspection. Awesome. You pay for the inspection. You find out if there's something wrong. You love it, right? You love the termites. You love the structure damage. You love damaged windows. You love an aging HVAC roof, etc. If that's the deal, it's only for informational purposes. And again, it depends upon the situation. I mean, if we're in a really hot market, we probably can get off with an as-is deal. Or we can flip it, we can pitch it to the seller, say, hey, it's good to know that you want as-is. We don't have to go as-is on the listing, right? See what comes across the net far as an offer, and let's counter from there. So it's different ways of doing it. Again, so if somebody prefers to go as-is, maybe you don't have to put in the listing as-is unless they're adamant about it. Once we start getting offers, that's another thing to help return or circle back to our seller. Hey, I dig that you wanted to go as is. The majority, if we have more than one offer, right? If it goes under contract, it pops, somebody else comes. Hopefully it doesn't. And they have the same type of repair request. Maybe we have to start honoring some of these repairs if we want to sell the house, right? So again, you're gauging your appetite for risk for the client, right? With different listing strategies, but also how you're going to market as is and not. Also, speak to them about appraisals. Appraisals is a different season, in my opinion, for appraisals right now, right? A lot of homes are coming in with higher value, which is awesome. But we have to be realistic. Once in a while, you're going to get a short appraisal. And what that means is the appraiser is going to deem that the value may be less or is less than the actual purchase price. I like to have this conversation up front with my sellers at the listing appointment. I'll wait to the listing appointment, at the pre-listing. What happens if this nice offer that we get, once the appraiser comes out, if the value comes in less than its purchase amount? Are we willing to reduce the price of the home? Or are we expecting the client to bring extra funds to the table to cover the short appraisal, aka the gap? In addition to that, uh, I like to preface the conversation, or continue the conversation rather, with if we get a really nice, healthy offer, it's a nice, healthy loan, and we're only a few thousand off, and it's one of these deals where we received many offers, it's thousands over our asking price. What harm would it hurt us if we gave back a few $1,000s, right? If we got much more than we expected to get anyhow, right? Would that be a challenge? Have all these conversations up front, because I promise you, once they fall in love, it's a honeymoon, right? If you list it two and somebody comes over, you say, "Hey, I love that home. I'm going to give you 275, and I'm going to bring whatever to the table to praise it short," right? Sometimes conversations, people get a little forgetful at times, right? So we want to make sure we already did our due diligence for possibilities up front. Again, a good offer brings more than just a nice dollar amount. Maybe we're going to waive inspection, right? Informational purposes only, or the buyer's going to waive inspection, informational purposes only, or what I just touched, waive appraisal, brings so much cash to the table. Appraisal is not a big issue. Maybe it's a situation, hey, I have to get out of town in 20 days, right? If I get a decent offer, but it's a cash offer, I don't have to have the biggest, or the highest net as far as dollar amount. I need a quick sale. Explain how your business works, right? Again, I have a marketing director, I have a transaction coordinator. Transaction coordinator reaches out a couple of times a week via phone, email, and or text to my clients, in addition to myself communicating with clients. This is good. It makes the client feel that they're special, one, also that we are concerned about them, right? How much of a good feeling would it be for someone to put your home under contract and you never hear from them until it's like inspection time or appraisal or closing time, right? At that point, it might appear that we're only in for commission, right? We're in the business to duplicate clients, right? Yeah, we want to have repeat business, not a one done type deal. So communicate on a regular basis. Good news, challenging news, whatever. Deliver the news, right? In addition to reaching out a couple times a week, you're going to ask for additional business. Hey, who else do you know that needs to sell a home or buy a home, right? Who needs to sell or buy a home? Most realtors work both sides of the business. Some have a preference, whether it's on the list side or buy side, but always look to get additional business. Let them know that you work by referral, right? The majority of your business comes by way of referral, whether it's leads uh, from a team, a brokerage, or other past clients. Let them know that. All right, let's talk commission. This is probably one of the toughest conversations for most transactions. Terell, why should I give you 6% commission? I could list the home myself, right? Getting back to the data, guys. Give them some data. Speak to Zillow, Realtors.com, etc. Right? See a lot of homes on Zillow. They're listed by sellers. We call them FSBO in the real estate world, for sale by owner. A lot of these homes never get sold, and one of the reasons, these are not trained professionals. They're not aware of the true value of the home. They're not aware of the market. Okay. Speak to your expertise. Be confident. Explain why they deserve to pay you X amount of commission. Uh, Let them know your brokerage charges 3%, right? And to bring a buyer, that's another 3%. At the end of the day, is it the dollar amount we're concerned about if we get a nice return on investment for profit, right? That will include your commission. You got to get comfortable handling objections. You have to. You're going to have clients that are going to try to discount you, right? Let them know at this listing appointment, I'm negotiating an opportunity to get this listing. If I can't negotiate here, how can you expect me to negotiate when a contract comes over, right? Again, right now I'm negotiating for the listing. I'm also negotiating for my commission right now. How strong do you think a realtor will negotiate if their commission is cut? These are all good conversations to have. For all of my listing appointments, I let the sellers know up front they will have a net sheet. Again, that's going to be the net profit sheet, a battle plan, and additional information within 72 hours. Might come by later that evening, might come by tomorrow, the day after, but they'll have it within 72 hours.
What was that third one?
Yeah, I missed it too.
So net sheet, right? The battle plan, and any additional information that you want to offer. Absolutely. Battle plan is going to be suggestions, guys, like suggestions for a paint job. Maybe we're going to do something to the floors, a deep cleaning. We want to wash all windows, wipe all counters, cabinets, etc. That's just the basics, right? We want a nice, clean, bright home on photo day and also on listing day. Okay. If you need to make any repairs, possible cosmetic updates, this is what you want to put in your battle plan. It's almost like we're going to war, right? Real estate war in this area. We want to have the best product with the best chance of a quick sale. That'll net the best profit. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to open it up for you guys. Q&A. What do you have for me?
One question. What is a net sheet?
Good question. So, high-level net sheet. Of course, you want your property address on there, right? The subject address. Basically, what it entails is the amount if the seller owes anything, what you're going to sell a home for, an estimate of closing costs, which should include commissions. They're going to use an attorney or a closing company, any type of HOA fees, taxes, etc. What they're going to net from this deal. Okay. Again, I like to use at least 3. Sometimes I go upwards of 5. Right? Any other questions?
With regard to the timeline, you're doing the pre-qualification and you're going to send out your package, your listing package to them, whether it's email, obviously that's going to be immediate. Do you want to get it to them within a certain amount of time, or you put a timeline on going back to them, the 72 hours after you've had the listing appointment,
Sure.
But what is given what the market is and the competition, how fast people are getting to these people to the presentations?
Really solid question. ASAP, like yesterday, right? I'm going to be honest, out of those 3, email, mail, or deliver, I'm a face-to-face person first, phone call second, right? Text third, email last. I do them all, but that's just my preference. Again, it's not a right or wrong. You don't want to be forgotten about. Just like you want that listing, there's probably 1,000 other people here in the Richmond area want that listing bad as well. So after you get off the phone call, if you have the ability to email immediately. Email immediately. If not, take out some time and see if you can hand deliver that same day.
Once that packet is delivered, when would you make the listing appointment? Would you make that when you were pre-qualifying them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Good question there. So yeah, find out what's a good time frame and try to make it favorable in your terms. Take control of the conversation. In other words, hey, how would Wednesday at 4:15 work for you? Right? Automatically 4:15 on Wednesday is probably not going to work. But now, guess what? You're in control of the conversation. Rather, they're going to give you a time and see if it works. Right? In addition to that, always try to close. Right? Let them know, hey, I can send a listing agreement over. I can go ahead and use tax records. Is there anybody else that's possible in the deed that I'm not seeing in the tax records? See if the name is spelled correctly, etc. Fill it out. email it, right? Maybe say, hey, you know what? I don't need to interview any other realtors. There you go. You're still going to your listing appointment, but now you have a solid contract. Does that make sense? In addition to that, what I like to do for a lot of individuals, find out over the phone, if not over the phone, uh, listing appointment, prefer over the phone. What's your preferred way of approving these documents or signing contract if you choose to? Right? What's your preferred way of approving these documents? Is it email or would you rather have it in paper? If they tell me paper, I'm automatically going to go fill out as much as I can. All they have to do is give me a wet signature. If I can, I don't want to leave there without having a list in hand if I know I'm going to be their guy. Does that make sense?
You kind of spoke to this earlier. The last listing I had was only on the market for 5 hours, and it's a crazy market. And the first offer that came in was like 20,000 over,
Nice.
a 3-week close. Plus, they were bringing 8,000 to cover any gap in the appraisal. In your experience, is that too early? I mean, because at the end of the day, it's up to the client, right? But at the same time, I was kind of hoping they would test it for like a week or so. But at the same time, it was everything and more that they wanted. If you could speak towards
Absolutely.
like the strategy for it.
Really good question. So, this type of market, you can get some lovely offers come across. I've been in that situation working with sellers. Uh, I've put out there before, hey, we will review offers on said date. An offer comes across, the seller falls in love. At the end of the day, it's their home, right? If it's a really strong offer, you feel like you can vet it, let them know you'll work with them either way, but also speak back to them and say, hey, what are the odds we may get some other offers that are just as good or better, right? We have a nice offer, it may be better terms, right? Maybe the terms are much better on possible future offers, we may not net as much. Put it in mind because you want to do your due diligence of serving the client. But again, at the end of the day, it's up to them what they want to do with their home. And with that being said, and this is a listing chat here, but on the buy side, if we ever get any buyers that really are interested in certain homes, get out there as soon as possible just because of what you said, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes the seller will not wait around for multiple offers. They'll miss out on an opportunity to view a nice home. Make sense? Yeah. What other questions you guys have?
You said list like maybe Wednesday or Thursday and then have contract offers in by Monday. Is that more beneficial than maybe having them in by Friday?
Good question there. So Wednesday and Thursday is not the gospel, right? Mm-hmm. Just to be transparent, how we operate in Sanders Group, we usually shoot the pictures, the photography on Wednesday, and we'll go live on Thursday. So you have all day Thursday in most cases, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, or if it extends out to Tuesday or review offers. I like to call it's a situation where the home feels like it's having a revolving door for an open house. Get as many people in there as soon as possible. So again, it's not saying that you have to list on Wednesday or Thursday. Right, maybe it's Monday or Tuesday. Right. But I would like to give them a few more days, right? And be cognizant if there are holidays, if people are traveling out of town, you may not have as many visits. You want to give your sellers the best opportunity to sell. Does that make sense?
Right. I guess I was thinking more of the buyer's agent side of things. And if they had somebody that really wanted this house that said, I want them to see this contract now, what do you do in that situation?
So if a buyer pitches over contract before Tuesday review offers, right. It happens. It happens all the time. Hey, Terell, you know what? We love that cute listing you have over there, right? Our buyers are willing to come in X amount of thousands over. We don't care anything about a home inspection. As far as countering, we just want to know what's going on. It's for informational purposes only. And we'll bring an extra 20 or 30,000 to the table if need be. But guess what, buddy? The contract's going to expire tonight at 9. I get that you want to wait until Tuesday. Right. If you want to play ball with this, we're willing to give you this nice offer, take it off the market. It's very tempting. It's our duty to take that offer to our seller. Absolutely. Right. Okay. Absolutely. Say, hey, we have a smoking hot offer. I have to give it to you. It's my duty to serve you.
Right.
I would suggest that we still entertain until Tuesday. It's your home. Let's talk about a few possibilities here and see how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Right? Encourage them one way or the other. Just know if we go here, then we don't have any other offers to counter or leverage.
Right.
Maybe if we wait to Tuesday, we'll get more money. It's a good chance that we won't.
Right.
Maybe we'll get less terms. It's a risk that we take.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Hey guys, hopefully those were some tips that can help. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.